Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Evergreen, there lived a young man named Alex. At 25, Alex was just like any other ordinary person, stuck in a dead-end job as a barista in a small coffee shop, dreaming of something bigger but feeling trapped by his circumstances. He had the knowledge from his college degree in business, and he had skills honed from years of part-time gigs, but success seemed like a distant mirage. Little did he know, the key to unlocking his potential wasn't in what he knew or could do, but in something far more powerful: his attitude. One rainy afternoon, as Alex wiped down the counters, an old customer named Mr. Harlan walked in. Mr. Harlan was a retired entrepreneur, his face etched with the lines of a life well lived. He ordered his usual black coffee and struck up a conversation. "You look like you've got the world on your shoulders, son," he said with a kind smile. Alex sighed. "I do. I've got ideas, skills, even some savings, but nothing ever works out. It's like the universe is against me." Mr. Harlan chuckled. "Knowledge is important, skills are important, but attitude decides how far you'll go." He leaned in, his eyes sparkling. "Let me tell you about two mindsets. Imagine two gardeners planting the same seeds in the same soil. One sees every weed as a curse, complaining about the rain and the sun. His garden withers because he gives up at the first sign of trouble. The other, he sees weeds as lessons, rain as nourishment, and sun as energy. His garden flourishes. That's positive versus negative mindset, Alex. Your attitude is the soil of your success." Those words stuck with Alex like glue. He began to notice how his negative thoughts, "I'll never make it. Why bother?" were holding him back. He decided to experiment. For 1 week, he'd force himself to think positively. Instead of dreading the early shifts, he'd think, "This is building my discipline." Instead of envying successful customers, he'd think, "What can I learn from them?" Slowly, a shift happened. His energy changed, and so did his days. Alex started reading about real people who'd turned their lives around through mindset. One story that hit home was about Sarah, a single mother from a small town much like Evergreen. Sarah had no fancy education, just a high school diploma and a job as a waitress. But she dreamed of opening her own bakery. Everyone told her it was impossible. Too risky, no money, no connections. Yet, Sarah's attitude was unbreakable. "Challenges are just detours to better things," she'd say. She saved every penny, learned recipes online, and baked samples for free until word spread. Today, her bakery chain employs hundreds, all because her positive mindset turned obstacles into opportunities. Then, there was the comparison that really opened Alex's eyes. Two brothers, Tom and Jerry, born into the same poor family with identical resources. Tom, with a negative attitude, saw every setback as proof that life was unfair. He dropped out of community college, blamed the system, and ended up in low-paying jobs, bitter and stuck. Jerry, on the other hand, embraced a growth mindset. When he failed a class, he thought, "What can I improve?" With the same starting point, Jerry worked odd jobs to fund night classes, networked relentlessly, and built a tech startup that sold for millions. The difference? Attitude. As Mr. Harlan put it, right thinking changes your direction. Alex saw himself in Tom and vowed to become like Jerry and Sarah. He started a side hustle, a mobile coffee cart, using his barista skills. But he infused it with positivity, greeting every customer with genuine enthusiasm, turning complaints into compliments. Soon, his cart became a local hit, not because of fancy equipment, but because of his infectious attitude. Of course, success wasn't a straight path. Alex's first big event, a pop-up at the city fair, was a disaster. A sudden storm ruined half his supplies, and only a handful of people showed up. He felt crushed, ready to quit. "Why me?" echoed in his mind, the old negative voice creeping back. But he remembered Mr. Harlan's stories of failures. "Winners don't do different things," the old man had said. "They do things differently." Alex pictured the hurdles. The storm as a test of resilience, the low turnout, as a chance test of resilience, the low turnout as a chance to refine his marketing. Instead of giving up, he persevered. He analyzed what went wrong: poor weather planning, weak promotion, and tried again. The next event? He rented a tent, advertised on social media with upbeat videos, and turned it into a community gathering. People came in droves, raving about his persistence. His perseverance paid off. His business grew from a cart to a small shop, then two. Triumph wasn't in avoiding falls, but in rising every time. As Alex's success built, he realized it came from daily habits, not magic. He shared his routine with friends, turning it into a blueprint. First, positive thinking. Every morning, Alex spent 5 minutes journaling 3 things he was grateful for, and 1 affirmation like, "I am capable of achieving my goals." This rewired his brain to see opportunities where others saw problems. Second, continuous learning. He devoured books, podcasts, and online courses. Knowledge compounds like interest, he'd say. From marketing strategies to customer psychology, he never stopped growing. Even on busy days, he'd listen to an audiobook while brewing coffee. Third, discipline and consistency. Success wasn't about grand gestures, but small daily actions. Alex set strict schedules, waking at 5 a.m. for planning, tracking expenses meticulously, and committing to 1 new customer outreach per day. Rain or shine, he showed up. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality, he often reminded himself. Fourth, surrounding himself with the right people. Alex ditched toxic friends who drained his energy and sought mentors like Mr. Harlan. He joined entrepreneur groups where positive, driven individuals inspired him. "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," became his mantra. These connections opened doors to partnerships and advice he never imagined. By weaving these habits into his life, Alex transformed from a dreamer to a doer. His coffee empire expanded, but more importantly, he felt fulfilled. Years later, Alex stood on a stage at Evergreen's annual Success Summit, sharing his story with a packed audience. His voice boomed with energy. "Success is not an accident, it's a choice. But I chose attitude over apathy, perseverance over defeat, habits over happenstance. Change your attitude, change your life." The crowd erupted in applause as on-screen text flashed, "Change your attitude, change your life." The story of Alex isn't just his, it's yours waiting to be written. Start with your mindset, build with habits, persevere through storms, and watch success unfold. Remember, the most important thing for success? It's your attitude. Go forth and make it happen.